You have good hands, your kicks are sharp, your grappling is technical, but when the fight starts, everything falls apart. That is not a failure of your techniques. It is a failure of integration. Most martial artists train in compartments: striking class, grappling class, self-defense drills. Each skill set lives in its own world with its own rules. But combat does not respect those boundaries. It demands seamless unity of all your fighting capabilities. When your skills stay in their separate boxes, you create critical vulnerabilities. Your brain treats striking and grappling as different programs that need to load and activate. That delay is an opening your opponent will exploit. The solution is not more techniques. It is connecting what you already know. Here at Modern Combat Martial Arts, or MCMA, we teach the White Lotus system approach. Treat all 6 core skills, guarding, striking, blocking, parrying, grappling, throwing, as interconnected parts of a single system. You do not learn them in isolation and try to connect them later. You develop them as a whole from the start. You are effective at punching range, but when the distance closes to clinching or grappling range, you freeze. Your skills work within their preferred zones but collapse during transitions. That is the range transition breakdown. You find yourself either chasing your favorite range or desperately trying to escape an uncomfortable one. You cannot flow naturally between distances as the fight demands. To fix this, you need to drill the transitions themselves. Practice moving from striking range into clinching range and back out. Train the moment between ranges as a skill. At MCMA, we call this progressive integration. You build the connections from white belt forward. You learn how a punch sets up a collar tie, how a sprawl creates space for a kick. The transitions become automatic, not a mental switch you have to load. Your brain treats different skills as separate programs. When you need to shift from striking to grappling, there is a delay. That delay is a critical vulnerability. Opponents learn to attack during these moments when you are mentally and physically between modes. You waste energy fighting yourself, trying to remember which skill set to use, instead of fighting your opponent. The fix is simple but requires dedicated practice. Train the switch itself. Drill a combination that ends with a takedown entry. Practice defending a punch and immediately flowing into a throw. The goal is to eliminate the gap. You want the transition to feel like one continuous movement, not 2 separate actions. At MCMA, we call this flow state development. You move between skills naturally and instinctively. No loading, no delay, no vulnerability. When your skills are not integrated, you waste energy. Every transition requires mental and physical recalibration. That drains your resources and creates openings. Worse, your techniques do not support each other. Your offensive moves do not set up your defensive positions. Your defensive movements do not create counter opportunities. You have isolated tools instead of an interconnected system. Here is the principle. Every technique should set up the next. A guard creates an opening for a strike. A strike forces a reaction that sets up a takedown. A takedown leads to a dominant position. Your skills must work together tactically. At MCMA, we teach principle-based connections. You learn how guarding sets up striking, how striking creates grappling opportunities, how all skills work together systematically. No wasted motion. No isolated tools. Every action has a purpose that connects to the next. What happens when you do not integrate? You get stuck in one range. You become predictable. You miss counter opportunities because they require a skill from a different category than what you are currently using. The connections between your skills remain unmade. Under pressure, you default to one skill set and forget the others. Strikers forget their grappling. Grapplers forget their striking. You become one-dimensional. Opponents learn to attack during your transitions, the moments between ranges and skill sets, because that is when you are most exposed. You expend more energy fighting yourself than fighting your opponent. This is not a failure of effort. It is a failure of training design. Most martial arts practice actually builds the compartmentalization that becomes your combat weakness. Separate classes, style-specific sparring, artificial scenarios. The solution is to train integration from day one. At MCMA, we build your foundation through basic skill development, establishing mechanical precision for all 6 core skills in an integrated progression. You do not learn striking in one class and grappling in another. You learn them together as parts of a whole. As you advance through intermediate skill development, you apply these skills together against resisting opponents. You develop seamless transitions, tactical connectivity, adaptive flow, and energy efficiency. You build combat intelligence, understanding how all skills connect systematically. The result is not a collection of separate abilities. It is a unified fighting system. You move from compartmentalization to unification. Your skills work together because they were trained together. No more pieces that do not fit. No more vulnerabilities between ranges. You become a complete fighter, not a specialist with holes in your game. Stop training pieces. Start training connections. Your skills are already there. Your job is to make them work together.